would like to state, that I think the world is entering an unparalleled area of economic history and uncertainty. Mr. Raghuram Rajan has said in an interview that we have not understood the ramifications of aging. All Western and prosperous societies are today aging. You'll be surprised to know that even post 1991, 92, the, the fall in the Japanese GDP was not because productivity in America, in China, in Japan failed, but because the people were reduced in the workforce. Per worker productivity went up, but the quantum of growth came down, right? And nobody expected this kind of increase in life expectancy. Nobody would ever oppose it. Nobody understood what would be the ramifications of health costs and pension costs to society, right? We have never had so much prosperity in the world, and it's for the first time, and we never had such security of pension and healthcare, right? Social welfare costs for society. So we are now entering a period of which there is no precedent. So we don't know what's going to happen. And Mr. Raghuram Rajan is pointing out that because these societies, he's given an interview to the Wall Street Journal, I think it's a must read, that because these societies have such high pension liabilities, right, and the need for growth and the need to meet these obligations so high, in his opinion, they are using methods which are not sustainable, which is basically easy monetary policy, right? At the same time, I mean, if I were Yellen, I would justify these interest rates because the purpose of my mandate is maximum employment and controlled inflation. So as long as inflation is below 2%, right, and there is employment growth, then why the hell should I raise interest rates? So never in the world have you seen such easy monetary policy and such low inflation. So I think all this brings out a big manner of uncertainty according to me. Third thing is, was you had a bull market now for 35 years, right? I think in my opinion, I bought Crystal shares because Mark Faber said that 17% of the US economy or GDP was financial services. In India, it was 6%. If there ever was a company which will grow with financial services growth in India, it would be Crystal, according to me. But now again in America, financial services is coming to 17-18% of GDP. The German bund is minus 25 basis points. It is predicted in the consensus is that earnings growth and sales will grow down by 5% in China. China has got huge unused steel and cement capacity. Right? So I don't understand the boom comes in China when the economy is dwindling, when the earnings are going down, the markets didn't go up when the profits are going up. You have huge retail participation, you have negative interest rates, you have a 35-year-old bull market, you have economic situation in the world which you've never seen. So this gives me a very feeling of uneasiness. That how is this going to happen? What's going to happen is unpredictable. And I don't think that you can keep on raising asset values just on the basis of interest rates. I mean, you are forced to invest in assets today because I'm told deposit rates in Singapore are 0.20 basis points. If you want to have a deposit in Swiss francs, you get negative interest rates. So what I'm basically pointing out is that we had a 33-year-old bull market in financial assets or in all assets, right? I don't know how long this party can continue. There is uncertainty, there is no question about it. I feel it could continue for the next 10 years and it could blow up in the next 12 months also. We don't know. And Stanley Druckenmiller made a very, there's a note, if you have a Bloomberg, you go and beautifully written that in 2004, the real crisis of 2008 started when 2004, even after the US economy started growing, Mr. What was his name? He did not raise interest rates, which finally led to the subprime crisis, right? And see, there is a lot of belief, and especially this generation has never seen a real bear market. They presumed the last Ben Bernanke said that there will never be housing crisis in America because housing prices have never come down in America. So we cannot believe that that which has never happened is never going to happen. I don't know, I get this dirty feeling that this party in financial assets may not last for very long. And what do you say, difference between investing and trading? Well, I trade myself, but I can tell you one thing. If 10 lakh trade, 9 lakh 99,900 say they made money. And 9 lakh 99,900 are lying. 990 say they make money, 90 have made, 9 lakh 99,900 are lying. Let me tell you. And you will say, आप सट्टा करते हैं हमको मना करते हैं हमारे डैडी विस्की पीते थे हमको मना करते हैं don't forget that. So the question is, see, what is trading? You are trying to get a return on capital. What are you doing? Trading, you are leveraging capital. No? If you have one, you are trying to take a position of 100. So, sir, I think there are very few people who are lucky enough to be able to do that on a consistent basis. And it then, and greed overtakes you, and you cannot take a loss. First, if you take a loss, it's too big, right? So I don't know, I think there could be a lot of skillful traders. But I would advise trading नहीं करेंगे तो ज़्यादा सुखी रहेंगे. Because see, as I explained, what are you trying to do in trading? You are trying to get a return on you are trying to use capital which is 10 to 15 to 20 times your own capital. Right? And what happens? अभी तो NSE margin share में भी ले लेता है. So what happens? You're not using capital, only the cash margin matters. Then you lose money, you have to sell the shares. So as a rule, I would say don't trade. Of course, and if you want to trade, remember one thing, there are three principles only. Have a broad idea of direction, don't be an expert. Right? Know what to stake. And know when to take a loss. I think that's the most important part, the third one. And please, if you are chartist and you have a long position, don't sell if the stock is overbought. And don't buy if it is under, what? Overbought, oversold. Right? So my advice is don't trade. And I can give you thousands. I don't have to give you reasons. I've seen before. I knew a lot of people who trade. Right? I knew a lot of people who used to trade. I know a lot of people who trade. लेकिन क्या है कि वो जले हुए रूम से वो जलता हुआ रूम है बहुत कम जिंदा बाहर आया क्यों नहीं भाई सच्चा बोला ना हमारे दोस्त राधाकृष्ण दमानी बोलते हैं कि जो शेयर बाजार के बाहर रोड है ना हर स्टेप में एक आदमी गड़ा हुआ है कौन है वो सुनती है lot of people have lost money. Third thing you're asking me about? Well, 1,25,000 Nifty I still hold. Only the time period is a little doubtful. कि 2030 की 2035. We don't know. Huh? See, I'll come to the gist of what you want me to say. You're asking me why I feel in the short term I'm a little circumspect. Let me revisit why I'm so bullish on India. I'm still very bullish because of the simple reason that I recognize that India has all the qualities. See, when I analyze a company, I don't want to look at absolute profits first. I want to look at the factors that drive profits. Right? I say, I say size of markets, right? Or size of opportunity, competitive ability, scalability. So I think India has all that. I remember Ramesh had sent me, Economist magazine had written in 1980 an article on India, that they don't see any place in the world where they see so much scope for growth. And they see so much lack of realization of that opportunity. Now, with the Modi government coming, right, a lot of the change that India needed, I thought would be precipitated and would come much faster than what it was, thought of earlier. But I thought one of the biggest reasons was the parliamentary majority. Right. Now, on a re-examination, what I feel is that there are certain structural challenges in the Indian economy which require huge political change. I'll give you an example. Now you can, there's only one PPA which has been signed in this country in the last 12 months, right? But the fact remains that all the state electricity boards are broke. And the more power, when 70% of the power they give is subsidized. So the more the power they buy, the more subsidy they have to give. And now they have had a first restructuring. Now, as per Mr. Raghuram Rajan's edifice, in the second restructuring, they'll have to provide for it. So the question is, you could get coal, you could get the power, but where is the buyer for the power? Mr. Modi could change things in Gujarat, but if you go to Akhilesh and say you raise the rates, or you make your transmission more efficient, or you take out all the illegal connections, he will say, I have election in 18 months, go away, Mr. Modi. So it is not in Mr. Modi's hands to be able to change the state electricity boards. Without a change in the state electricity boards, you may get the power. Who's going to buy it? And if there is not going to be buyer for the existing power, who will invest in new power plants? So, sir, to bring this change, and look at the expectations. And which today I read Business Standard headlines, the debt of the top 10 infrastructure companies has gone up by 10%. In the current year means what? That the banks are giving them more loans to pay the interest. Mark Faber, Chris Wood, people whom I respect, everybody says the revival of capital spending in India is most important for the growth rates in India to come up. How is that revival going to take place? Right? So that it will happen, but I don't know the time period in which it will happen, and the consequences and the methodology by which it will happen. And I'm not blaming any individual. You look at, Shekhar Gupta, whom I respect, has written in the latest note that, sir, we are subsidizing farmer to the least in the world. It's only the methodology of subsidy which is wrong. So the question is, can you take out, you ask any agricultural economist of any standing, he will say the worst thing that you do is fertilizer subsidy, the manner in which you are giving it. Can you remove it? If you don't remove it and you don't invest in agriculture, farmers are going to commit suicide, productivity won't go. So how to really achieve the growth rates of the dreams that I as an individual and all of us as Indians have, we have to challenge and change this. But in this political system, who's going to take the initiative? Or what you need is the BJP in the center and BJP government in 20 states, which will take time. So my basic, and I place this as an investor against expectations. There is nobody who says कि नहीं होएगा, हाँ अभी गवर्नमेंट का स्पेंडिंग बढ़ गई है, अभी होएगा, सेकेंड क्वार्टर में होएगा, फोर्थ क्वार्टर में होएगा. Nobody has that point of perception that the process of change or this happening can be so elongated that markets may lose their love story with the market. And then when markets lose their love story, there is no fury heart like a woman's scorn. Heart like a woman's scorn, markets also like women, no? So what I feel is, I don't say I have no bearish interest, I have no short positions, right? I have some long positions, little. But to my mind, this honeymoon that the market is having on expectations, and it's unbelievable. No earnings growth in 2014-15. Akash Prakash has written a note in the Business Standard. Two times has happened in the history of India since the Sensex was incorporated. 2008-9 and 2014-15. Others, never has there been a year in the last 35 years or 40 years where there has not been a growth in Sensex. So I feel how this will be resolved, when it will be resolved, who knows? And how long this honeymoon or expectation is going to last. And I know there are real challenges in this infrastructure sector. Right? So that's why it makes me a little circumspect. India is going to boom, India is going to grow 10%. The only question is whether in 2018 or 2025. I mean, earlier I would have predicted 2017, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20. Right? And I also feel that if there is an international crisis, India will be the biggest beneficiary. Because we don't have those kinds of interest rates. I think commodity prices are going to... Achha, look at this macro benefit. Okay, and oil prices come. The economy has absorbed it for 6 months, 7 months. Jo petering hona tha down will happen in the next 2-3 months. So the macros are good, but what to do with the macros? Right? So as, I don't know, I went through Utpal's presentation also. I feel expectations in relation to the realities are misplaced. I don't know about valuations. So if those expectations are not met, how markets will react will be difficult to say. And I'm not bothered about US Fed hike, interest rate hike. I think nothing's going to happen to India. I think it's all priced in already. And we already have much higher interest rates than America.
Today there is a lot of crowding in all these good quality earnings growth companies, and all the companies where the fundamentals are in a mess right now but can improve are nobody wants to even look at it. So how do you see that, or do you see that changing in the next 1 year?
Well, see, all this is, you have used a lot of adjectives, good, bad. See, all good is bad is in relation to valuation and potential. So I said on television also that a lot of us have piled on into a lot of supposedly very good companies, good performance, good growth, good governance. But boss, क्या है कि Ashwini Rai का भी price होता है ना? I mean, you cannot pay price beyond a point. And I think if markets go down, they will also dilute. So I don't essentially, what I feel is that, well, actually, I got a little concerned in mid-February. But I felt with surety that market will go down now when the laggards moved up. When Reliance went up and then Reliance came back. That time I thought everybody's participated. So really when the good quality companies are hit and their valuation diminish, I think that may be the climax of the fall. So don't believe in good, don't believe in bad, believe in valuation. And don't try to buy any, with due respect to Mr. Ramdev Agarwal, he's made a lovely presentation. Don't buy any company with expectation it's going to be 100 baggers. Because those 100 baggers which are known, the buyer never knows. If he knew that it's going to be 100 bagger, he would have sold his wife's jewelry and bought it. No, the sheer idea that advocating that I'm going to buy 100 to 1 is incredible. Your hand should shake, when you buy it. Yeah.
From good to great on ROE, ROC, capital allocation. Would you say, is that the genesis of your entire life's experience on investing?
What does the genesis means?
I mean, the high
I
ROE.
feel the best is yet to come. I'm 55. Mr. Buffet is still investing at 84. So if I smoke less cigarettes, exercise more, drink little less,
Inshallah.
right, then I'll also live to make some much finer investments. But see, it's a truth. Suppose I have the biggest baggage in my portfolio, I've been Lupin and Type. And some public sector stock which I sold. I never knew, boss, they're going to be this value. I never dreamt in my wildest life So therefore, it's as much accident, it's luck, it's a policy of, I mean, you know, reviewing at each stage. So, but I think corporate governance, ROC, return on capital, capital allocation, payout policies, dynamism, as Utpal pointed out, very extremely important. But I still think there is still long way to go. Both in those companies and me as an investor. उम्मीद तो कर सकता है आदमी. But I'm not trying to back the, I'm not trying to back the next 100 baggers.
Sir, sir, I'm sure I think in your entire portfolios, you must be tracking quarterly results and annual results, even the con calls and everything. But how you are, I mean, involved in the sense, I mean, and talking with the management and visiting the companies and management, how often?
I have never visited any Titan plant. I've never visited any Lupin plant. I've never visited. Right? Offices I visit, I met, but see, management can give you a broad idea. Right? A lot of people say that I have been, one fellow alleged on television or something, or he wrote a mail that all the, I have held his shares, I made this success only because of insider trading. Because I said I can't do insider trading for 14 years. There have been there have been, I've kept that chart in my drawer. There have been, I have bought Lupin in 2002, it's 13 years. For 6, once in 3 years, I think 2005 to 2008 and maybe 2009 to 2012. For those 3-year periods, Lupin gave no return. I still held on to those shares. So I think interaction with management is important, but I think recognizing other factors is also extremely important. Yeah. I look at the quarterly results. Plant visit करके क्या करना है? What are you going to do in the plant? See, what you must understand is, see, every company has a culture, right? Every company has some leadership. This is, the culture of dynamism. What distinguishes, say, an IBM from a Google? That Google is by nature and by blood and by genesis a dynamic company. They want to see change. They want to work towards creating that change. Well, IBM is okay, it's old, software, plodding. Am I right? I mean, surely IBM doesn't have the dynamism that Google has. So therefore, we got to look at the culture of a company. Right? Leadership is extremely important. I think when I invested in 2002 in Lupin, Mr. Gupta's children, I didn't know them, but they have proved to be one of the best leaders in the industry. So it's also luck and.
When you hold an investment, so how do you decide to sell? Because there'll be phases where companies that you hold goes through say rough patches for a year or two. So how do you at that time decide not to sell and hold on to them?
Well, see, when I invest in a stock, first I don't trade it, right? And I look, there's a hypothesis. I look at an entry value and I look at a terminal value, right? At each, suppose a stock may not go up in a year, but do you think it has reached its terminal value? So I will sell 3 times. One, when I feel that, when I feel that I need money, I leverage sometimes, so I need liquidity. So sometimes I'm forced to sell. Of course, I have no debt. Second, if I have an alternative, opportunity which I think is better. And third is if I feel that EPS and P both have, EPS may peak out, but the P may be very small. But EPS has also not peaked out, EPS growth has not peaked out, and P is not peaked out, then it's very good. And if both have peaked out, that may be a point to sell. Well, it's very difficult. It has to see situation to situation. Right, and I'll tell you very frankly, because, see, I cannot add 2 stocks when I want to. It's not that I have a fund right? And I never create cash. So it depends. We make money, we buy stocks by trading profits, essentially, right? We can't leverage beyond a point. So in 2003, I was so bullish. I leveraged my portfolio to the extent of 35%. Then December 2000 August, I suffered a setback. Then I said 35 is 35. I'm not going to go to 40, right? But then I made super trading profits in the rise. So I made a lot of investments in the rise. So for us, I'm not that conventional fund manager who only invests or who has money. I invest when I make trading profits. And to add, not to add is a very, very, some stocks I've kept on adding, and the stocks have not performed, not performed. So now I've thought, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, it may be your own money, but there's a limit to your own opinion. So I'm also learning from that.
So, when you look at new opportunities, one is that with regards to what kind of a time horizon you would look at to have a vision of a company over 5 years, 6 years, and what would be the key attributes of the company that will help you to form that vision.
Well, all attributes are one side, valuation is one side. Right? As far as company said, I've said, the size of the opportunity, the competitive ability, how, the scalability, what I call the ghee business, the return on capital, the nature of, companies which can buy on credit and sell on cash, they have very high return on capital. There's so many factors you have to take into account. One is negative, one is positive. It's very difficult to really.
Sir, what are the trading and investing lessons you've learned from Radhakrishnan ji?
Very frankly, investing I've not learned many lessons from him. Trading I've learned a lot of lessons from him. First is learn to take a loss. Second is ensure that your broker never comes out second day for your payment. Be responsible. The broker doesn't have to call you for the payment. It has to reach him before he can call you. I think what's more important, I learned finer human qualities from him. His softness, his humility, his ability to integrate with people. I've never learned his ability to keep quiet and listen. Right? But as age is progressing, I'm trying to do that. And his respect for family, his human values, his competitiveness in business. He's a very competitive businessman. Make no mistakes. Right? So, investing, his thought processes are completely different from mine. Right? He believes a lot in multinationals, which I don't. Well, that has been profitable, but I don't mind. I don't want to be the husband of an unwilling wife. The multinational don't want a shareholder. That is a reality. 99% of them. What else? I learned from him. Risk taking. And I want to learn from him to create another DMart here. This is fundamental research.
Okay, I just want to know again what is the pure sleep.
That is fundamental research. So price is equal to EPS multiplied by P. So fundamental research teaches you EPS. His ability, he knows on his fingertips what is the cement production, he knows then see what happens. Research also is, you do anything in life like a doctor. As you progress, you learn better, no? So as Nimish Bhai is so much personally involved in all this, that his absorption ability is so fast, and his ability to put 1 plus 1 is equal to 11 is so great. So he's one of the best performers in the Indian market here. So what is something surprising I said? I said what I felt here.
What you have seen in him, it is special.
Oh, he's just, There is nothing in all of us which nobody in future can do. Everybody can be replicated. There's nothing, including Mr. Warren Buffett also. The question is his ability to understand. When did he come to the market? 85. It was the Wild West. And he has survived all those Wild West going up, down. So his sheer ability to analyze companies is unparalleled. He's not a lazy bum like me.
Sir, two parts to the question. First is in the past, any businesses you evaluated and you thought it's not worth investing and has done well, if you can share your experience. And the second part is some businesses you have invested and has not done well, like VIP for that matter.
Well, see, just because I have a large portfolio, my mistakes are written. I have made, as I reflect on time, the mistakes I have made are so many. Well, a company which I would have. See, the biggest, in the last 30 years, the highest returns that have come in software. Right? Or have come in the financial sector. I mean, because I never understood software. Although I'm a chartered accountant, I didn't take computer accounting. I never understood. I thought it was garbage in, garbage out. I mean, I never understood the importance of the digital age at early. So, maybe a software company, I ignored them. I think I missed a great opportunity. Some of the mistakes I've made is, I don't know what else. I made a lot of, and also I make the biggest mistakes when I plug out my mind to other people's thoughts, where prejudice overrules, my very opinionated character. I think that has contributed to my success, but that also contributed to limiting my success. That I become too opinionated and then I don't want to listen to anybody and then I keep on adding, which ultimately then it becomes like a private equity investment, no exit.
What are your views and experience on private equity investment?
Well, I think you need an organization to do it. And you need patience, you need an organization. It can be very profitable. Provided you have an organization, you have patience, and you have money. And you're ruthless. The fourth is also very important. But for me, it's 15% of my wealth and 85% of my time. So I would like to, unless or until I see real opportunity and low downside, I think I'll do it. But it requires large organization, a follow-up, and then begins the emotional problem. So you get, you start sharing emotions. The entrepreneurs become friends. So it clouds your decision making. But I think I will come out with very good colors. I'm hopeful. Eventually, will perform better than my listed portfolio. Exit is not a problem. If the girl is pretty, the boy will come to marry her. The company should be good. It should perform well. But I think I'm hopeful I'll do well. Although I've already written off 100 crores of investment.
There are many of us in the room that are managing like some money, small amount of money, proprietary or with or without clients. What's your advice to us in terms of two things? One is portfolio concentration versus being diversified when it's a smaller amount. And secondly, the idea of always keeping some cash on hand, and having some liquidity on hand.
First, I would like to be concentrated. Because I think there are not many good opportunities. If you have an opportunity, Ramesh always says, no, bet the bank. Backup. So I would like to be concentrated. Second, I never had liquidity in life. I don't know, yaar. It depends if you think markets are overpriced. But if you have a good investment and you feel the stock is going to temporarily go down, don't sell it. That much I can tell you. And maybe carrying 5-10% cash is always, good and I would say. But I If you ask me from the heart, no cash price.
Said, I had a question. So you you make your investments in stages. You keep on buying as you get more familiar with the company, and you have
And as I get more trading profits.
trading profits, yes, which happens periodically. So not enough discussion is there about holding large portfolios and large positions in your portfolios for a large period of time, like 5, 10, 15 years. So what is it in that maintenance research which you do, which gives you that confidence to add and to hold for a long term?
See, Kalbaj, as my thought process goes today, let us say I'll give you an example of Lupin. Right? I mean, I personally feel Lupin will not go above 1800, 2000 for the next 1 year. Next 1 year. Next 4 years, तो मैं बेच देगा. Right? So question is, which is the, first of all, I've questioned myself in the last 2-3 years that why 100% of my wealth should be in equity. Why I should not have debt, or why I should not have real estate, or why I should not have business. And I came to the conclusion that if India is to grow, say 12% nominal, I will get 15% return on my profit, tax free, plus a 1% yield which is tax free. I don't think I have any other alternative asset class with which I can get this kind of a return. I'm not talking of 80, I'm talking of 15, 16%. And tax free, which is a very big, right? Second thing within companies, see what I feel is all companies what are the other alternatives? It's not that I have not sold any of my shares, I have sold. But do I feel that Lupin or Titan, their potentiality is fulfilled? I don't think so.
When they become outside position, outside
तो उत्पल ये तो अब ऐसा हो गया ना कि एक बैट्समैन बहुत अच्छा रन बनाए उसको रिटायर कर दूं. It's not that I put outsized capital.
Algorithmic trading has totally taken over the entire manual trading in markets. And because of various algorithmics which is running into the market, the price movement has become very, very sharp. So do you think it is going to stay here and become more disruptive?
See, according to me, algorithmic trading is like program sex. You can never enjoy it. Right? Because trading is concerned with human reactions. And how you can program human reactions, right? And I don't know of any algorithmic trader. See, the trader might have made a lot of money. What's his name? When it fund wala 30% return. तो भी उसने कितना leverage किया and what return he got, I don't know. But I don't know many algorithmic traders, at least in India, who have made money. First of all, I don't know many traders in India who have made money. तो मेरे को पर्सनली लगता है ये algorithmic trading itself is a myth. According to me, it's a myth. That if technology could allow you to earn so much of money in trading, बॉस तो क्या यार येन 75 का 125 हो गया. If algorithmic trading could predict it, bloody, you could short 50 billion worth of yen. You could earn $30 billion. So I don't think they can predict the longer trends and right. And I think too many algorithmic traders will become counterproductive. क्योंकि क्या होता है तू देख what that Fernando guy who wrote Methods of a Wall Street Master, क्यों क्या बोलते हैं वो 200 डे क्रॉस होता है ना तो सब चार्टिस्ट बोलते हैं 200 डे ऊपर हो गया अभी लियो अप ट्रेंड हो गया है. बट वो क्या बोलता है फर्स्ट मूव में लेने का नहीं, बिकॉज सब चढ़ते हैं, फिर वो 200 के नीचे आता है सेकंड टाइम और फिर ऊपर जाता है जब लेने का. तो व्हाट हैपेंस द algorithmic traders will counterbalance each other, just like everybody buys at 200. So I will advise you, don't get involved in it. Making money was so easy. Right? The machines would be making the money, not us. Oh. हाँ? तो पैसा कितना लगा है उसमें? मेरे पास बहुत प्रपोजल आते हैं ऐसे, तो मैं बोला तेरे पास अक्कल है तो इफ योर माई स्ट्रैटेजी इज 100% शो, मैं बोला 100% शो, व्हाई यू कमिंग टू मी? सो व्हेन यू होएगा कोई was, but I don't want to emulate him. Let me tell you. And I can tell you one thing: there are traders in India whose profits without using algorithmic trading is much larger than his, without doing the turnover that the NSE does. It's not disruptive. Why is it disruptive? क्यों हॉलो हो गया? Oh, that is if I give a sell order to the Nifty, कि 10 लाख निफ्टी मार्केट में बेच दो, तो वो एल्गोरिथमिक ऑर्डर थोड़ा कोई नो, दैट इज अ डिसाइडेड ह्यूमन ऑर्डर, दैट्स नॉट एल्गोरिथमिक ऑर्डर. एफआई ऑर्डर देगा 6800 निफ्टी है, वो बोलेगा 10 लाख बेस्ट मार्केट बेच दो, तो क्या होगा? अरे ट्रेडिंग, अभी गर्लफ्रेंड के साथ कितने दिन, अभी बीवी के साथ खाना रेस्टोरेंट में गया तो पूरे दिन खाना खाएगा ना. अभी ट्रेडिंग में बीवी गर्लफ्रेंड के साथ कितने देर बैठने वाला, क्या मालूम, बीवी के साथ तो बैठना ही पड़ेगा. सो इट्स, we don't do anything in trading here.
No, it can be the same day, 1 week, whatever.
I don't do any same day. I don't do any intraday trading. But generally, I trade. See, we trade trends. So as long as the trend is alive, I mean, I've taken position in trading. I've taken a position in trading last year, which I still hold it, partly. I mean, it's been 14, 15 months. So it's not that it's very. See, the only principle is there is no principles. Nothing is predictable. मैं क्या बोलूं? I myself don't know what I'm going to do in trading. I don't myself know when I go to the off, except when I'm holding a losing position. That I know I'm going to sell. देख, जो चीज में नुकसान है तो वो तो बेचना ही है. So when I go to the office, I know I'm going to square off my trading position. But there is no pre-planning. It's all impulsive. हम एक्साइटमेंट में लेते हैं और घबराहट में बेचते हैं. राइट? एंड वी आर शेयर बाजार रोड शॉप. हमारे पास कोई एलोरे की दाम, थोड़ी अंग्रेजी बोलनी आती है, उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं. आप समझे ना? तो फैक्ट आई एम टेलिंग यू. तो मैं थोड़ा प्री प्लान करके जाता हूँ. राइट.
Would you do it completely different? And a small corpus, let's say 20 crores.
See, I'll tell you you've heard this story, I've said so many a time, that if I were to make money in life again, or what if I were to make a career again, would I like it to be different anyway? I don't think so. But I think I enjoyed standing on Dalal Street and fighting for wealth, for success, and I would like to begin that way. And I love trading. मैं तो बोलने वाला हूँ, जिस दिन भगवान मारेगा उसको क्या बोलूँगा? भगवान जरा ठहरो, अभी बोलूँगा 7 बजे उठता हूँ, थोड़ा योगा करता हूँ, उसके बाद एक सिगरेट पीता हूँ, चाय पीता हूँ, नाश्ता करता हूँ, फिर थोड़ा शेयर बाजार में जाके ले फटाफट. राइट? फिर उत्पल को जरा 2 बजे उत्पल बोलेगा, देखो भैया इधर बहुत डायनेमिक चेंज हो गया है, ये कंपनी ले लो. तो वो कंपनी में थोड़ा इन्वेस्टमेंट करूँगा. फिर 7 बजे में जाके जेफरी में 3-4 पैक मारूंगा, अच्छा फर्स्ट क्लास खाना घर में खाऊंगा, फिर भगवान को बोलूंगा चलो अभी लेके चलो. तो आई एम गोइंग टू लिव. I don't want this to change in any way, right? And also the circumstances of this country are around us. I would never have been able to be so successful if the Nifty, if the Sensex had not gone from 100 to 27,000.